I am Sarah and I'm just making a short 10-minute presentation about an FEI discipline, and I've chosen dressage. So in this video I will be explaining the sport, how it's run in the UK and in other countries, and the route through from just starting out all the way up to potentially world domination. So, get started. Dressage is the oldest equestrian discipline, with references to the sport dating back to some writings by the Greek general Xenophon over 2,000 years ago. He actually mainly wrote about war horses, but then he mentions in a book that he wrote on horses, he wrote about a demand for a showy, attractive animal with a certain grandeur of bearing, and even mentioning that a horse for this purpose needs to have supple loins and to be able to plant his hind legs underneath him, which is something commonly referred to today. So how is it governed and regulated, and where do all the competitions come from? Well, the highest governing body we have is the International Federation of Equestrian Sport. They are the FEI. They're a not-for-profit organisation and they strive to develop the equestrian sport globally. They are dedicated to athlete welfare, equal opportunity and ethical partnership with the horse. This includes the Clean Sport Initiative, which works with the World Anti-Doping Agency, which of course upholds the integrity of the sport. And also it oversees and coordinates obviously all the worldwide competitions. They govern and regulate the Olympics, for example, the Worlds, and make sure that everyone is treated fairly and all the horses are being treated fairly. So they are the international body. Now, along with another 133 national federations, we have our national federation, the British Equestrian Federation, that is a member of the FEI. So the UK's national governing organisation is the British Equestrian Federation, and the BEF. The BEF is an umbrella organisation that has actually split up into separate sports. So the umbrella organisation represents all over 3 million riders, vaulters, carriage drivers, disabled riders, reiners, even the British Equestrian Trade Association, and of course British Dressage. So British Dressage is one of these member bodies, as I just mentioned. So British Dressage was founded in 1988, and that was when the BEF decided to split to form bodies for all the main sports, including eventing, show jumping, and of course dressage. Now, British Dressage oversees all affiliated dressage competitions, which see horses awarded with points based on the scores they get in their test. And as their points go up, they must move on to a harder level of test. Now, just to explain a dressage test, the aim of dressage is to train a horse to carry itself and its rider in a supple and balanced way. And a dressage test is made up of a series of movements in walk, trot and canter, and in straight lines, circles, diagonals, and as you advance through the levels, lateral work and specific movements such as passage and pirouette. So, as I said, as you go through your test and your points go up, you will then advance to the next level of test. But before I move on to the levels of tests, just a bit more about what the British Dressage do. They actually are the ones that promote and regulate the sport. They improve the standard of riding, training and horsemanship in the UK, and they also, as a national body, manage representation of Great Britain internationally. So they will choose the teams for the Olympics and the Worlds. They also will advise the BEF on all dressage matters. So I will move on now. So the levels of competition. So you'd start off with the most simple of tests, the introductory classes. This will get you and your horse some more experience and prepare you all for how it works and prepare the horse for what it's going to be doing in the future. So these tests will just include walk, trot and canter, 20-metre circles, keep it quite simple. Then for preliminary, this is when you get into your affiliated tests. And this test will include, they might add a change of rein on the diagonal and half 10-metre circles. Then you can move up to novice. These will include 3 or 4 loop serpentines, show some lengthened strides, and a bit of rein back as well, rein back for a few steps. And then you'll go through elementary. In medium, you'll be expected to do a half pass in trot and canter, an extended trot, an extended walk. And then when you get up to more serious levels like advanced, medium and advanced, you will be doing half pass zigzags, 8-metre circles in canter, sequence flying changes. And once you get to the international levels, you will be doing all the movements, the pirouettes, the parfait, and you'll be getting up into the serious stuff. So pre-St George's and intermediate 1 is seen as small tour, and the intermediate and 2, Grand Prix and Grand Prix Special are big tour, and that's when you're going to the Olympics and the Worlds. So so we've also got para dressage. This is dressage, except it's run slightly differently because it's specifically for riders that are not completely able-bodied, so they have disabilities, but all the disabilities are kind of segregated into categories. So riders in the para dressage are placed in classes depending on their disability to give a fairer competition. Para dressage is one of the fastest growing areas of British dressage and is gaining popularity around the world. It was first actually introduced into the Paralympic Games in 1996, and is also governed by the FEI, along with all the other equestrian games. So how are other countries organised? Do they do it the same as us? No, not quite. Most other countries, I have noticed, they have a national governing body like ours, our BEF. For example, Germany have FN, which is the German Equestrian Federation, and the USA have the USEF, the United States Equestrian Federation. So they do not have extra bodies inside their national governing body. So they literally, in Germany, the FN handles all regulations, all promotion of dressage and all the other sports without using a national federation for dressage specifically. So they do it all under one roof. The USA, however, they do have a national dressage federation, the USDF, but this organisation is actually purely dedicated to education and is not, it does not choose teams for international levels, and it does not handle regulations, anti-doping, all of that sort of, the rules and regulations are left to the United States Equestrian Federation. So they do work slightly differently. And that is about it for my presentation. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was all right.